Dear friends, now on our channel, there are people who feel dizzy while on bus. Today we are going to give you tips for easing motion sickness while on bus trips. If traveling by car, train, plane or boat makes you queasy, there is good news. Not only can you take steps to stop motion sickness before it starts, you may actually be able to conquer it for good. Why some people get motion sickness and others don't isn't fully understood. Researchers believe it's caused by incongruence in our body's sensory systems. For instance, in a slow-moving cruise ship, your eyes may tell the brain you are not moving at all, but the systems in your brain and inner ear that control balance and posture say, yes, we are. This mismatch confuses the brain and causes a variety of symptoms, including dizziness, headache, nausea, salivation, sweating, belching, acute tiredness of stomach, vomiting, and hyperventilation in extreme cases. You certainly can take medications to help relieve these symptoms. But if you would like to try overcoming motion sickness for good, here are some techniques. Take control of the situation. Not being in the driver's seat can contribute to motion sickness when you are traveling by car. The driver of a car is less prone to motion sickness than a passenger, presumably because the driver's brain is using its motor commands to control the car and can predict the motion. Putting yourself behind the wheel will keep the queasiness at bay. If you must ride as a passenger, try sitting in the front seat and looking at the horizon, which confers a sense of greater control than riding in the back. If you get stuck in the back seat, try conversation and distraction to alleviate the anxiety of not being in control of the situation. Open a vent or source of fresh air if possible and avoid reading. Curb your consumption. Watch your consumption of foods, drinks, and alcohol before and during travel. Avoid excessive alcohol, smoking, and foods or liquids that don't agree with you or make you feel unusually full. Foods with strong odors or ones that are heavy, spicy, or fat-rich may worsen symptoms of nausea or motion sickness in some people. Get into position. Try to choose a seat where you will experience the least motion. The middle of an airplane over the wing is calmest area of an airplane. On a ship, those in lower-level cabins near the center of a ship generally experience less motion than passengers in higher or outer cabins. Isolate yourself from others who may be suffering from motion sickness. Hearing others talking on a train, sit in a front-facing seat so your eyes relay the same movement cues as the vestibules of your inner ear. Also, when traveling by car or boat, it can sometimes help to keep your gaze fixed on the horizon or on a fixed point. The more you enhance sensory congruence, the less likely you are to get queasy. Talk yourself down. You actually can talk yourself out of motion sickness. A study found that verbal placebos, simply telling sailors they won't get seasick, have been effective in preventing seasickness. Set your own expectations before traveling by saying aloud, I'm not going to get car sick this time, or using other affirmative self-talk. Learning breathing techniques by using biofeedback can help in this endeavor. Get desensitized. Desensitization therapy works for minimizing or even curing motion sickness. Expose yourself to short bursts of activities that cause symptoms and then work up to longer periods. If reading a book in a moving vehicle makes you feel nauseated, try reading for 5 minutes and then putting the book down. Repeat the 5-minute interval over several sessions, then increase to 10 minutes. Over time, you will find your body gets used to the activity. Pre-treat with ginger. Some studies support using ginger as an effective preventive measure for motion sickness. At the very least, it can't hurt. Take 1 to 2 grams of ginger half an hour before traveling for best results. If you are on a prescription blood thinners, consult your doctor before supplementing with ginger. Get in touch with your pressure points. There is conflicting evidence regarding the effectiveness of acupressure for motion sickness, but it's worth a try, even if it's just for the placebo effect. As mentioned above, simply convincing yourself you can get through a trip without motion sickness can help you avoid it. If wearing pressure point devices, such as wristbands with plastic bumps on them, help convince your brain you are not going to get sick, it's worth a shot. On the other hand, don't waste your money on magnets. There is no evidence magnetic devices marketed for motion sickness or relief do any good. Sickness, ride it out. Sickness clears up on its own after about 3 days. Why? The human body possesses an enormous ability to accommodate situations like incongruence between the sensory systems. Again, in the think it away category, you may rid yourself of symptoms if you understand and believe they are going to clear up sooner rather than later. If children experience motion sickness, be sure to let them know the condition usually starts going away after age of 12. Sharing this medical fact may help your kids avoid feeling doomed to motion sickness for the rest of their lives. If you experience severe sickness, go ahead and take over-the-counter medications such as Macozen and Dramamine. These are most effective 30 to 60 minutes prior to when you think you will be sick and can be sedating. If you are a healthy adult with severe symptoms, you can talk to your healthcare provider about a scopolamine patch to cope with the prolonged episodes of motion sickness, such as during the first few days of a cruise.